Welcome to Dreaded Dreams TV. Brace yourselves for the stranger in the backseat. Subscribe, like, and prepare for a chilling journey into the unrevealed. Stay tuned and brace yourselves for a ride you won't forget. It was early April 2020. I was taking a road trip with my 10-year-old son, James, to West Virginia to visit family. It was a long, stressful drive. My car didn't have working a hack at the time, and it was an incredibly hot day. So we were a bit stressed out by the 5-hour mark. As the miles stretched on, the relentless sun beat down on the car, turning the interior into an oven. James, fidgety and restless, kept asking when we would finally reach our destination. I could see beads of sweat forming on his forehead, mirroring my own discomfort. Despite the challenging conditions, we pressed on. Our windows rolled down in an attempt to catch a fleeting breeze. We were still on the road by dark. I think it was around 10:00 p.m. when we were still on the interstate, and James started complaining that he needed to use the bathroom. There was already tension in the car before this, but his constant complaining brought about a slight argument between the two of us. It was about personal stuff I'd rather not share with the internet. At last, I saw a blue rest area sign zoom past us on the interstate, so I changed direction into the rest area. It had a small building with 2 bathrooms, a couple of vending machines, and a few benches. That was it. There were no other cars parked nearby besides some big white pickup truck. As I pulled up next to the building, James got out in a hurry and ran to the bathroom. I left the car on because I knew he'd be back soon. Like I said, I don't want to get into personal stuff like why we had a bit of an argument, but it seemed we were at that stage where we were no longer exchanging words. I figured the rest of the ride would be silent. About a minute later, the back door opened. I wanted to say something to James, but I didn't know what to say, so I just stayed quiet and drove off. I noticed that the white pickup truck parked nearby was leaving as well. He was close behind me. I veered back onto the interstate and into the left lane, and the pickup truck did the same. I stepped on it a little, and so did he. He started flashing his lights, so I switched to the right lane, thinking he was nothing but an aggressive driver. But as soon as I switched to the right, so did he. He was still flashing his lights. I pulled into the right lane and started to slow down. He sped up, still in the middle lane, and when he caught up to me, he slowed down and lowered his window. I did the same, and he started yelling something at me, pointing at my car. He looked like a creepy, sketchy dude at first glance. I couldn't hear a word he was saying, so he pointed for me to pull over to the side. I told James to keep calm. In my head, I was saying if this guy tried to do anything funny, I would floor it. The pickup pulled up behind me on the grass, and the guy came out of his truck, running to my car. I put the car back in drive as my heart was racing, ready to drive. But then he screamed. Wait. He got to my window and said, "That's not your kid," and pointed to the back seat as he said this. I was confused and said, "What?" He said, "That's not your kid that got in your car." Suddenly, the back right side door opened, and I turned to see someone getting out of my car. Not my son, James. I got out of the car, screaming at the tall person who seemed to be a fully grown man, but they had already disappeared into the woods. I looked at the driver of the pickup and thanked him as I suddenly panicked, thinking about what could have happened to James. I got back in my car, crossed the grass between the interstate, and drove back to the rest area. The guy in the pickup followed me. He got back there in like 30 seconds to find James waiting outside the rest area bathroom. He got back in the car, all confused. I explained everything to him, almost out of breath, as did the pickup driver. I thanked the guy one more time before he drove back to the spot. He was sitting and James was so intrigued about what just happened, and I was so disturbed that we were back on good terms again. We chatted the rest of the way and told the family about it as soon as we arrived. I never even got to see what the person who got in my car looked like. Honestly, maybe I should be happy. I never turned around to look at them, because I don't know what they would have done. Thanks for joining us on Dreaded Dreams TV. If you enjoyed The Stranger in the Backseat, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Share your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned for more nightmares. Until next time, thanks for watching.